Welcome to The Explainer. You know, when we think about fighting natural disasters, we usually picture helicopters and rescue teams. But what if one of our most powerful first responders wasn't human at all? Today, we're diving into how artificial intelligence is becoming a total game changer, from seeing a crisis coming to helping us pick up the pieces. So, to really get why this matters so much, let's just start with one number. A pretty shocking one, actually. 50%. Yeah, that's right. Half of the countries on Earth have no early warning system to protect their people from disasters. And with these events becoming more and more common and more intense, well, that's not just a statistic. That is a huge, gaping hole in our global safety net. But this is where things get interesting. What if we could start to close that gap? This is where our new digital first responder steps in: artificial intelligence. Now, look, it's not some magic wand. Think of AI more like a superhuman analyst. It can chew through just insane amounts of data. We're talking satellite imagery, weather sensors, even social media posts at speeds we can't even comprehend. It's all about finding those tiny, life-saving patterns hidden in the noise that give us a critical head start. And AI isn't just one thing, right? To keep it simple, you've got these two major flavors. On one hand, you have classical machine learning. That's where humans have to kind of hold its hand, telling it exactly which features in the data are important. But then you have neural networks, and this is the real game changer. They basically learn on their own what's important, kind of like a digital brain. For something as messy and unpredictable as a natural disaster, that ability is, well, it's huge. Okay, so that's the what, but how does this actually play out in a real crisis? Let's walk through the entire timeline of a disaster, from start to finish, and see where AI fits in. You can really think of it in four key stages. First, seeing it coming. Then, sounding the alarm. Next, the response during the crisis. And finally, learning and rebuilding. And you'll see AI has a huge role to play in every single one. All right, stage one, seeing it coming. This is all about forecasting. AI basically gives our prediction models superpowers. It can process all these different streams of real-time data at once, making our forecasts way more accurate and, this is key, giving us more lead time. And more time means more lives saved. And check this out. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Different AIs are built for different jobs. For something like a flood, you might use what's called a recurrent neural network, which is great at predicting things over time, like a river's flow. But for an earthquake, you'd use a convolutional neural network. It's a master at analyzing images and spatial data, so it can literally watch an earthquake grow using signals we can't even feel. Okay, so you've predicted the disaster. Now what? Stage two is all about sounding the alarm, because a warning is useless if people don't get it or don't understand it. And this is another area where AI is really changing the game. Think about this. During a wildfire, an AI using natural language processing can scan social media and get a real-time sense of where the fire is spreading based on what people are posting. It's incredible. Or even better, large language models, the same tech behind ChatGPT, can instantly translate a critical warning message into hundreds of local languages, making sure everyone gets the message, not just those who speak the official language. Then we get to stage three, right in the middle of the crisis. When disaster strikes, everything is chaos, and speed is everything. This is where AI's ability to process information at lightning speed becomes absolutely crucial to get help where it's needed most, fast. So, for example, after a drought, an AI could predict which villages are going to run out of food first, so aid can get there before people start starving. Or, picture this, AI-powered drones flying over a flooded city, creating a detailed damage map in minutes, not days, telling rescue teams exactly which buildings are still standing and which roads are washed out. And finally, stage four. The storm has passed, the ground has stopped shaking, but the work is far from over. This is about learning and rebuilding. AI helps us sift through the wreckage digitally to figure out what went wrong so we can build back stronger and smarter. You know, AI can look at before and after satellite photos to pinpoint exactly why certain buildings collapsed and others didn't, helping us write better building codes for the future. And then there's this really cool kind of sci-fi concept called a digital twin. You literally create a perfect virtual copy of a city, and then you can throw virtual hurricanes or earthquakes at it to see what breaks. It's like a crash test dummy for an entire metropolis. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? And a lot of it is. But, and this is a big but, AI is not a magic fix for everything. If we're going to use this tech responsibly, we have to be brutally honest about some of the massive challenges and gaps that we're facing. We can really group these problems into three big buckets. There's what's called the data gap, the trust gap, and the policy gap. First up, the data gap. Here's the deal. Most of the data used to train these AI models comes from North America, Europe, and Asia. What about Africa and South America? Not so much. And that is a huge problem. An AI trained to spot flood patterns in Germany might totally miss the signs in Mozambique. It creates these dangerous blind spots that could leave the most vulnerable people in the world even more exposed. And this chart, wow, this really tells the story. Look at this. A whopping 93% of the research is focused on just predicting disasters. Only 7% is focused on communication and response. Think about that. We're pouring all this energy into forecasting the storm, but almost none into making sure people can actually get through it safely. It's a massive imbalance. Next up, the trust gap. A lot of these powerful AI systems are what we call black boxes. The AI spits out an answer, evacuate this neighborhood, but we have no idea how it made that decision. And if you're a fire chief or an emergency manager and lives are on the line, you can't just blindly trust a machine. You need to know the why. And that brings us right to the policy gap. Let's say an AI system fails. It misses a tornado warning, or it sends an entire city scrambling over a false alarm. Who's to blame? The programmers? The government agency that used it? The AI itself? We just don't have the rules or laws in place to deal with that, and that's a scary thought. So this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? This technology is here, and it's incredibly powerful. The real question now is, how do we build the right guardrails around it? How do we make sure it's used safely, ethically, and for everyone's benefit? I mean, we have to start asking some really tough questions. How do we make sure these systems are fair and don't have built-in biases against certain communities? And maybe most importantly, how do we make sure there's always a human in the loop? Because at the end of the day, a person, not an algorithm, has to be the one accountable for a life or death call. So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? It's that AI is a phenomenal tool, but that's all it is, a tool. Its real power, its true potential, is only going to be unlocked when we pair its incredible analytical brain with our human wisdom, our on-the-ground knowledge, and our empathy. The real challenge isn't just about making smarter AI. It's about us, humans, learning how to build a smarter partnership with it. And the big question we're left with is, are we ready for that?